Below the station is what I call Broad Cut. It's a small valley area that goes below the platform levels and takes us all along to the bridge at the end, and the tracks disappear and go underneath the helix. This is the helix. It was built in the ensuite. I have my computer there for control, and 5 levels, 4 you can see there, and the final one at the rear that takes everything up from the lower level to the upper level. I have a small oil depot in here, again another spot for delivery or picking up oil tanks, and I also have a small workbench with all the usual paraphernalia that as modelers have. We've got the coal train coming along now, so I thought I'd hesitate just for a moment, let you see it in a little bit more close up. Here he comes. There he goes, disappears underneath the helix. On the top level we've got some parcels. Here he comes. Now what he'll be doing as he enters the end of the yard, so to speak, he'll actually be going onto the helix from the upper level. So we'll follow him through until he disappears. So he's disappearing from the top level onto the helix, and if we move through to where the helix is sighted, you'll start to see him coming down the helix. Here he comes. So he'll do 5 turns and then end up coming out where the through station is, Dynewood West. Here we are at the approach to Dynewood West, just on the edge of the little country scene, and you might be able to hear in the background we've got the coal train coming through in a moment, and I think we may actually have another train that's going to be passing them on the main line through the station. Here comes the coal train. And at the other end of the platform I can hear the diesel with the parcels coming through. Both on their way to some destination. So talking about destinations, underneath the through station is a 5-track yard, hidden yard, but as far as I'm concerned that's London, Manchester, York and Leeds and a through track, and it means that I can dispatch trains into those yards and then pick them up later. So we can imagine that they've disappeared for quite some time and then come back out onto the layout. This little screen, which I've mounted next to my signal box here, shows me what's on those tracks. Currently they're empty, but at least I can watch what's coming in and make sure they don't foul the points at this end of the yard. That was picked up from eBay. It's one of the reversing cameras that you can retrofit onto cars, but it gives me the view there that I need, especially when I'm controlling the points in that signal box as well. The yard, forgot to mention, also has lights so that we can dim the main room lights on an evening and create a little bit of an atmosphere with the lights that are on there. I think that's just about focused. Similarly, on the terminus station, we've got lights in the canopies. Oh, there we are. That's the noise going. That's the that train going through the wheel cleaner. You can just see some of the carriages moving around slightly as the wheel cleaner does its job, and then it'll stop as it finishes going through.